This is English shorthand dictation number 55 and the dictation speed is 160 words per minute. Ready? Start. In a parliamentary democracy like ours, the committee system assumes great importance. Administrative accountability to the legislature becomes the sine qua non of such a parliamentary system. The check that Parliament exercises over the executive stems from the basic principle that Parliament embodies the will of the people and it must therefore be able to supervise the manner in which public policy laid down by Parliament is carried out. However, the phenomenal proliferation of governmental activities has made the task of legislatures very complex and diversified. By its very nature, Parliament as a body cannot have an effective control over the government and the whole gamut of its activities. Administrative accountability to the legislature through committees has been the hallmark of our political system. Parliamentary committees may be classified into four categories: financial committees, departmentally related standing committees, other standing committees, and ad hoc committees. Financial committees include the Committee on Estimates, Public Accounts Committee, and the Committee on Public Undertakings. The Committee on Estimates, constituted for the first time in 1950, is a parliamentary committee consisting of 30 members, elected every year by the Lok Sabha from amongst its members. The chairperson of the committee is appointed by the Speaker from amongst its members. A minister cannot be elected as a member of the committee, and if a member after selection to the committee is appointed a minister, the member ceases to be a member of the committee from the date of such appointment. The term of office of the committee is 1 year. The committee reports what economies, improvements in organization, efficiency or administrative reform consistent with the policy underlying the estimates may be effected. It suggests alternative policies in order to bring about efficiency and economy in administration. It also examines whether the money is well laid out within the limits of the policy implied in the estimates and suggests the form in which the estimates shall be presented to Parliament. The committee does not exercise its functions in relation to such public undertakings as are allotted to the Committee on Public Undertakings by the rules of procedure and conduct of business of Lok Sabha or by the Speaker. Soon after it is constituted, the committee selects such of the estimates pertaining to a ministry or department of the central government or such of the statutory and other bodies of the central government as may seem fit to the committee. The committee also examines matters of special interests which may arise or come to light in the course of its work or which are specially referred to it by the House or the Speaker. The committee calls for preliminary materials from the ministry or department, statutory and other government bodies in regard to the subjects selected for examination, and also memoranda from non-officials connected with the subjects for the use of the members of the committee. The committee from time to time appoints one or more subcommittees or study groups for carrying out detailed examinations of various subjects. If it appears to the committee that it is necessary for the purpose of its examination that an on-the-spot study should be made, the committee may, with the approval of the Speaker, decide to undertake visits to make a study of any particular matter, project or establishment, either as a whole committee or by dividing itself into study groups. Notes relating to the institutions, offices, etc. to be visited are called for in advance from the concerned ministries, departments, etc. and circulated to the members of the committee or subcommittee or study group. When the committee or subcommittee or study group is on study visit, only informal sittings are held at the place of visit. At such sittings, neither evidence is recorded nor any decisions are taken. All discussions held by the committee with the representatives of the ministries, departments, non-official organizations, etc. are treated as confidential, and no one having access to the discussions directly or indirectly should communicate to the press or any unauthorized person any information about matters taken up during the discussions. Later, in the light of informal discussions during study visits, memoranda received from non-officials and information collected from the ministry or department concerned and other sources, non-official and official witnesses are invited to give evidence at formal sittings of the committee held in Parliament House Complex, New Delhi. The observations and recommendations of the committee are embodied in its reports which are presented to Lok Sabha. Sabha. After a report has been presented to Lok Sabha, the ministry or department concerned is required to take action on the observations and recommendations contained in the report within a period of 6 months or as directed by the committee. The replies of the government are examined by the committee and an action taken report is presented to Lok Sabha. The replies to the recommendations contained in the action taken reports are laid on the table of Lok Sabha in the form of statements. The Committee on Public Accounts was first set up in 1921 in the wake of the Montagu-Chelmsford reforms. The finance member of the Executive Council used to be the chairman of the committee. The secretarial assistance to the committee was rendered by the then Finance Department, which is now the Ministry of Finance. This position continued right up to 1949. During the days of the interim government, the then Finance Minister acted as the chairman of the committee, and later on, after the attainment of independence in 1947, the finance minister became the chairman. This naturally restricted the free expression of views and criticism of the executive. The Committee on Public Accounts underwent a radical change with the coming into force of the Constitution of India on 26 January 1950, when the committee became a parliamentary committee functioning under the control of the Speaker with a non-official chairman appointed by the Speaker from among the members of Lok Sabha elected to the committee. The Minister of Finance ceased to be a member of the committee via Rule 3091 of the Rules of Procedure and Conduct of Business in Lok Sabha. The Public Accounts Committee is now constituted every year under Rule 308 of the Rules of Procedure and Conduct of Business in Lok Sabha. The Public Accounts Committee consists of not more than 22 members, comprising of 15 members elected by Lok Sabha every year from amongst its members according to the principle of proportional representation by means of single transferable vote, and not more than 7 members of Rajya Sabha elected by that house in like manner. Prior to the year 1954, the committee consisted of 15 members who were elected by Lok Sabha from amongst its members, but if with effect from the year 1954, 7 members from the Rajya Sabha are also being associated with the committee. Till 1967, a senior member of the ruling party used to be appointed by the Speaker as chairman of the committee. In 1967, however, for the first time, a member from the opposition in Lok Sabha was appointed as the chairman of the committee by the Speaker. This practice continues till date. The term of office of members of the committee does not exceed 1 year at a time. A minister is not elected a member of the committee, and if a member after his election to the committee is appointed a minister, he ceases to be a member of the committee from the date of such appointment. The chairman of the committee is appointed by the Speaker from amongst the members of the committee from Lok Sabha. The functions of the committee, as enshrined in Rule 3081 of the Rules of Procedure and Conduct of Business in Lok Sabha, include examination of accounts showing the appropriation of sums granted by Parliament for the expenditure of the Government of India, the annual finance accounts of the government, and such other accounts laid before the House as the committee may think fit. In scrutinizing the appropriation accounts of the Government of India and the report of the Comptroller and Auditor General of India thereon, the committee has to satisfy that the monies shown in the accounts as having been disbursed were legally available for and applicable to the service or purpose to which they have been applied or charged, that the expenditure conforms to the authority which governs it, and that every reappropriation has been made in accordance with the provisions made in this behalf under rules framed by competent authority. It is the duty of the committee to examine the statement of accounts showing the income and expenditure of state corporations, trading and manufacturing schemes, concerns, projects, together with the balance sheets and statements of profit and loss accounts which the President may have required to be prepared or are prepared under the provisions of the statutory rules regulating the financing of a particular corporation, trading or manufacturing scheme or concern or project, and the report of the Comptroller and Auditor General is thereon. The committee examines the statement of accounts showing the income and expenditure of autonomous and semi-autonomous bodies, the audit of which may be conducted by the Comptroller and Auditor General of India, either under the directions of the President or by a statute of Parliament. The committee considers the report of the Comptroller and Auditor General in cases where the President may have required him to conduct an audit of any receipts or to examine the accounts of stores and stocks. If any money has been spent on any service during a financial year in excess of the amount granted by the House for that purpose, the committee shall examine with reference to the facts of each case the circumstances leading to such an excess and make such a recommendation as it may deem fit.